Me. We are live on YouTube. And my camera froze on. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me, Laura?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you too, Kara.
Oh, I know what's going on. It's showing me. Okay, one sec here. See, there's a delay. How do I? It's like doubling up. Okay. I need to be on Zoom, not. Got it. Oh, this is new to me. I'm used to live streaming on Facebook, not on YouTube. So done. Live. This is the live. Okay, I'm back in here. Good grief. Okay, now to keep up with the YouTube chat, I just got to pop over to my channel here. So live. On YouTube. So done. Live. Just go all the way down with the volume. Okay, we'll get there. We're getting there. Okay. So we'll see. I did a post on Facebook to tell people to come to YouTube. We'll see if people show up there, but I've got the chat open for that. Otherwise, it's us. So here we are. Okay, so how I do this. First of all, I have new decks, which is really exciting. I have so many new decks that I can only pull in a handful at a time for each call. So it'll take us a couple months maybe to go through them. No, maybe. There's a lot of new decks. So what I do at the beginning of a call is I like to pull a card for our collective. Just a general message that hits home for everyone, or it's some kind of some part of the message will resonate for everyone. And yeah, so that's how we'll start it off, and then we can go into some polls and see how it goes here. This deck I've been looking at it for a while, and I was humming and hawing about it. I didn't know if I wanted it or not. I hadn't looked at it in person, so I wasn't sure, but I bet I just took a risk and got it. And so it's this Rose Oracle, Rebecca Campbell. She's got some really beautiful decks. And when I pulled the card for tonight, it's the Return. I'm gonna work with my camera here. The Return.
After taking a week off.
Yeah, right. Well, and the words along the bottom say a new story, you decide, alignment, it's coming together. So it throws in the overall words. Oh, here's Janet, yay. And then I'll read the message here. So I thought this card was for our collective, but anyways, okay. You've waited patiently for this moment. You've likely been working on the inner for some time now, and now the outer is beginning to come into alignment. As changing beings, we are in a never-ending growth cycle. This doesn't mean that we're constantly in bloom. No, this means that we're constantly changing. This card is like the bloom. However, it's more powerful than that. It heralds the coming and going of a whole new way of being. An entirely new story has been written. This card heralds a great shift in your life. This often takes time, sometimes even lifetimes. Acknowledge how far you've come and how much you've grown. You're a part of of creating change, not only in your own life, but in the world. Take a moment to take it in. You're just one of many, but your being here matters. A petal in the rose of a new humanity, part of part of the never, oh my goodness, part of the forever unfolding. Things are aligning for you and around you. They're convening and coming together. You're in the right place at the right time. Your outer world matches your inner world. This card is delivering a message of harmony, coming together, and the embodiment of holding a clear vision for many years. You've been doing the groundwork to get to this moment right here, perhaps for months, years, or even lifetimes. Use this moment. You get to decide what happens next. And then it gives a little affirmation, I guess, at the bottom. It's called a rose transmission. So it says, I acknowledge how far I've come and how much I've grown. I decide what happens next. Super beautiful message in that card. And I want to go, I want to take it another step. Like usually I sit here and I read cards, and that's cool too, but it is conversation and cards. So I kind of want to pull in some conversation around this a little bit. So if you feel like sharing, please do. I'm just curious first of all, kind of where you're at with how you're feeling about your growth or the changing or the foundation that's being laid. And then what parts or how did that card resonate with you? So yeah. Does anyone feel like sharing about that?
So something really simple happened, I don't know, maybe half an hour ago that kind of made me think of briefly. And it was so silly, but I was putting away some salad in my fridge and I was like, throw it out, keep it. Yeah, okay, I'll have it for a snack later. And I went to go put the bowl in the fridge, and I set it on something that didn't support it. And then the whole bowl started to tip, and I was trying to catch it, and I knocked something else off the fridge. And I'm in my process of trying to catch the bowl of salad, I ended up bonking the bowl of salad, and it just went up and everywhere. It's all down the whole, 4 shelves of my fridge on the floor. And while it was happening, swear words were coming out of my mouth. But once it landed, I was just like, okay, well, just got to clean that up. There was no lingering anger about it. And I'm not sure I could say that would have been the case 5 years ago. I think I would have, I would have carried on with the anger part of it and been stupid, all these things just always happen to me, it's just, yeah, I think I would have had more anger, and even to the point where I cleaned it up and whatever, moved on, got dessert going or something, and walked over the gate, and Kaylee comes up and she's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, why? What did you do? And she's like, I'm sorry you dropped the salad. I was like, oh, I'm good. I didn't even carry it forward beyond the moment that it happened. And for me, I would have to say that I think that is growth. That is growth. I know it sounds so silly that there needs to be any growth in something like that. But my anger would have definitely, yeah, definitely. I would have been just I would have let it get to me.
Yeah.
So it didn't, which is awesome.
I remember being like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. We
something so simple can ruin you if you allow it to. It can ruin hours or of your day or your whole evening. And it's awesome that it didn't need to today.
That's great. I can totally relate to that. I used to get frustrated over the silliest little things.
And food, for some reason, sensitive if it's about food. Like,
Yeah.
if I expect my sandwich to be in that fridge and I go get into the fridge and my sandwich isn't there, I'm melting down. There's a huge thing with food and expectation.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's good.
I think that's a good point though. Expectation is a really big part of that. Like, so we had a morning like that as well. I was on what was going to happen. Mom messaged me last night. She's like, I'm going to go to Costco tomorrow. Do you want to meet for brunch after? I said, yeah, for sure. So I get a message from her kind of halfway between, she should have been like almost in Kelowna. And she said, I'm having an issue with my vehicle. So anyway, I finished getting ready and go to meet her at, there's like a, it's not OK Tire, what a bit, I don't know. There's a tire place like right across from the airport, like on the same side of the highway. And I go to meet her and we're talking about it while we're waiting for the tow truck. And she's like, so she was leaving Vernon. She got on the highway. She could feel some shuddering. So she's like, that's not the greatest thing. Then she got on the highway and it went away. So she thought, oh, it's fine. She gets down to Lake Country where you now have to apply your brakes again, and she could feel it again. And so she'd pulled over by the Jamboree, which is, I don't know, not even 5 minutes from the airport where this tire place was, and Googled where she could take her thing to have her brakes looked at. And she gets there and the guy looks at it and he's like, well, we can't really like fit you in right away. It might be all day before we can even see what it is. So she decides to call the tow truck and have it towed back to Vernon. So I went out to meet her to take her into Kelowna to go to Costco. And we were talking about that very thing in the car where it's like, like you say, Lori, like 5 years ago, that would have been a whole different scenario emotionally, like what would have been going on in her body in that moment. Cause you're just like, this is going to cost money. Now I have to have it towed. It's throwing off my whole day. Now we're going to get to Costco. It's super busy, which it was, and it was awful, but it was just what it was. And we did our day and we had brunch later and it was fine. But that's such great awareness to have, like, there's growth in that. It doesn't matter if it's a salad or a car breaking down or whatever. That is massive growth, but then also the awareness that goes with it, which just keeps perpetuating your growth. So that's so awesome. I love it. Yeah.
Well, that's about your mom's car. She probably needs an alignment by the sound.
She needs
thing.
Her caliper seized. She needs a whole new brake system in the front.
What? Oh, well, that's no good at all.
But I said to her, I'm like, yeah, but now you don't even have to worry about your brakes for how many years? Like everything in the front end's done. So it sucks, but now you can try your brakes again. And she said, that's true. Going into camping season with the trailer, feel good about the brakes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all your perspective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
Awesome. So Janet, I don't know how much you caught of it, or Christy, I know you just hopped on. We were just sharing a little bit about where we're at kind of with our own growth journey or whatever you're going through. If it's sometimes for me, it's a cycle of learning. So I had pulled this card from the Rose Oracle called The Return. And really, we're just talking about themes of like a new story, you decide, alignment, it's coming together. And basically, as we grow, we lay a foundation for more growth. And we were just sharing kind of where you're at and what you're going through. And then we'll get to some card pulls. So anyone else?
I just had my Saturn return, actually,
Yeah.
which I didn't, like, I hadn't been thinking about it all. And I saw a TikTok post and I was like, oh, when is mine? And I looked and it was like that day practically, right? So,
Which is, what was that, Sunday?
no, this was a couple of weeks ago now, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But so that's like, as far as cycles go, that's exciting. I'm in a whole new big one.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel that it's like, yeah, definitely headed into a new section of my life where I'm not being a mom every day, physically anyways. I'm still always texting emotional support. I'm not sure going to end, but yeah. So I'm super excited about that.
Awesome. Yay. That's a big thing. It feels so good to come into a new period too, where you can just sense it. You're like, there's change. New times are coming. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, then when their kids leave home, like people not like me who actually like have a family home and a family. Like I just have me and my one daughter, right? And you know, when your kids left, then it would be like, oh, so what's special gonna happen? I guess wait for grandkids. I hadn't thought about that. But because I don't have that, it's like it just feels so open of what the possibilities are now of what I can do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that kind of goes back to what Lori was saying a few minutes ago. You can look at that as like an overwhelming negative thing, or you can look at it like,
right?
oh, possibility here and there's opportunity here. What do I want? Because I've been a mom for the last however many years, and that takes precedent over whatever the heck else you like to do with your time. So it can be exciting, but it can be I bet it's lots of mixed emotions there.
Yeah, and then my growth is just coming from actually having days where I just have no agenda, and like how magical that is to in every moment of the day to say what do you want now, body? What do you want now, mind? What do I want to do? And that giving myself the permission to do that is where the growth is.
That's beautiful. I love that. I wish more people could experience that.
No, I'm very grateful that that's what's happening for me right now. I have that luxury. So
Awesome. Because when did your daughter move out? It wasn't that long ago, was it?
This is our second winter not living together now. Yeah. But she's still close. I visit her a lot. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I can relate to right now not really having an agenda because of I'm kind of forced to just, because I'm not able to work because of my accident that I was in. So I was like, now I'm just like, okay, I'm forced to kind of be still. I mentioned this before about a conversation we had before, Kara, about just staying in my body, being in my body, and just go, okay, how do I feel? And just being still and just being more aware of that, and not really having anything set that I have to do in a given day, unless I have a doctor's appointment or something. But the majority of the day is just it's a weird feeling, because I'm the type of person that just wants to kind of go and just, I have my list of things, to get done. And it's just, it's new. It's just really weird. It's a new feeling, a new experience for me right now. And so, I'm just trying to just go with the flow of things and just go, okay. You don't have to control everything. You don't have to just, accomplish this list of things you're wanting to accomplish. You can just kind of go, okay, what is it I want to do today? What does my spirit want me to do today? What is it? Why am I in this position? There's got to be a reason, right? So, what am I supposed to learn here? So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
And that's such a hard transition. Like, I can kind of relate in that I was teaching and now I am not. Like, I went from teaching to a stress leave to just like trying to figure out all over again what I need to be doing, what's in the best alignment for me. And so now I'm moving towards that with the coaching. But like, I get it, because our society is built on being busy. It is built on centering us around busyness. And so to then end up in an accident, or, all of a sudden you have an empty nest, or like
health all of a sudden.
Health all of a sudden. Absolutely. Like, that's like, it stops you in your tracks. You have to take the look, but it's all this stuff up here is like rewiring your brain to understand that this is what's happened, and to be at peace with it and accept it, but this is actually okay and actually a good thing. Like, it took me months of it's kind of like you, Laura, in a way where I was on leave because I couldn't be at my job anymore, but then I didn't really know what to do. So I had all this time, and it felt so wrong to me to have that kind of time. Right. And then it felt unfair. Like, why do I get this time and other people don't? And then that's why I said to you, like, I wish other people could experience that like time freedom, or like Janet, like you say, in any given moment of the day, you can ask yourself what you want or need. Like, why? We should all be in that position, shouldn't we? Like, we should all have that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like true sovereignty in that case, where you actually do have that power and control over your life and your being and your experience, right? So however we end up in that, my whole year, that first year I took a leave, was all about time. My lessons were all about time, having a lot of it, what to do with it, the fact that time doesn't really mean much, how much of a construct time really is, as I went through that period. And then coming from that world of being so scheduled as a student for 6 years, and then as a teacher, like to the second of every day, to going to having every second of every day available to you. Like, it's a huge transition, and it is overwhelming, but once you can get to the silver linings of it, wow, what a beautiful thing. So again, perspective is huge, I guess, but
It's all about perspective, that's for sure.
right. Oh my goodness. Well, you want to pull some cards?
Yes, please.
Yes. There was just a new moon on Sunday, and I'm super new at the moon stuff. So what I understand though about that new moon was that it is a powerful manifesting moon. So, and Jamie explained it on the Vortex the other day, and I couldn't reiterate it properly if I wanted to right now, but there are 3 times this year where this type of moon comes back to help support our intention setting. So this is the first one. And then there's another one in, I think it's October 30th and December 5th or 6th. So the other 2 are later in the year. But if we set our intentions now, the way Jamie kind of said it was that it's a good year and good timing to have our dreams come true through this energy. So even if you miss the opportunity to set intentions for that moon on that day, that doesn't mean like you missed it and now you can't do it. Like, if you have some time over the next day or two, like certainly sit down and dream a little and write out some of the things you're wanting. So as we move into card pulls, if you have an intention, or you're thinking of something that you'd like to see come to fruition, or experience you'd like to have this year or whatever, that may be where your intention comes from. Or given the sort of conversation we've had in the first part of the call, maybe your intention for tonight could be around some of the learning and growth that's been going on. So what I often ask is just not ask, it's totally up to you. I can pull a random card willy-nilly, and we can read the message and you can see how it resonates for you. But sometimes attaching a question or an intention to that card pull can just help focus it a little more. So it's totally up to you how you want to go about that. But who would like to go first? I'm not seeing anyone on the chat on the live. So
How does that work? Whoever chooses, then you pull cards for them and kind of. Yeah. I've never experienced this, so I didn't know.
No, thank you for asking. So yeah, if you have an intention or question, or you might say, I just want a general message. So then I kind of tap into my guides and source and decide which deck is for you. Not decide, I get an idea of, I'm told which deck I should be picking up for you. And then I shuffle the deck and we pull a card, and there will be a connection with the card to your intention or question. Or if it's a general message, then it'll just be a general message for you.
Okay, I'll try that. Sure, why not?
Okay. Do you have a question or an intention?
I think I might go with the general, and then if I have maybe I want to elaborate on that, then maybe I will. I'll just
Sure.
kind of see how it goes.
I mean, there's only a few of us tonight on the call. We probably have time to pull a couple for people. So
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So I've got this stuck for you right now, Laura, is the Divine Animals Oracle. Now, this isn't brand new. I had this on my last call. Oh, shiny cover.
Oh, cool.
So it's all animal spirits. Hmm. Okay. Okay, so in this book, it'll give a message. It gives a section of mythos where we'll talk about some type of mythology from somewhere in the world related to that animal. And then it describes the animal, which typically I kind of skip over that in the calls just because it's not that there's not valuable stuff there, but it ends up being a really long reading if I read the whole thing. But you can certainly go look up that animal after to find out about it. It's just like stats about it and how they live and what they do. And usually we know quite a bit about that, but and then it talks at the end a little bit about the magic. So like calling on that animal's energy and what it does. So,
Okay.
So I pulled the wolf card for you.
Okay.
And the word that goes with it is authenticity. So the message of this card says, discover who you really are by revealing your authenticity. This is always the best way. We all resonate a frequency. So if you are pretending to be someone you're not, you will keep attracting people with whom you do not resonate. It is necessary to negotiate a position with others sometimes, and there should be no anxiety about differences in opinion. So the mythos with this card is talking about a Norse goddess. So here we go with these Norwegian words or names that I can never pronounce. Geoi. Laura, you might have heard of these people. You know more about Norway than I do. Geoi is the plain-speaking Norse goddess of the mountain. Of the mountains, wilderness, and unknown. Was a powerful huntress, a lover of snow, and a keeper of wolves. She lived in the profound silence of nature on the high plains, surrounded by her pack of wolves, which helped her hunt and protect the realm. Although independent and beautiful, she decided it was time to be married. She demanded from the other gods a husband as recompense for the unlawful death of her beloved father, Pjazi. She chose the god Njörður as her new husband, and as was customary, she moved to live with her new husband's house. Oh, I read this one before. Okay, but I'm going to keep going on. The new god husband, whose name I can't say very well, was a sea god who lived on an island that was always noisy with the mighty crashing of waves and the screeching of seabirds. All this constant and incessant noise was too much for Skeoi, who was used to the soft silence of the snow and the howling of her wolves. When she spoke of missing her true home and her desire to be more independent, she and her husband negotiated and agreed to try alternating homes every 9 days. She'd go to his mountain home, but found it to be, or he'd go to her mountain home and found it to be cold and desolate, of life so white, so quiet, so depressing. He felt isolated and missed his home too. But when dividing their time between the two locations, when that didn't work out, they decided to live apart but stay married. So she then returned to her beloved mountains, where she hunted from her skis and lived with her cherished wolf pack. She could visit her husband and he would visit her when they most desired each other. Wolves feature in the mythos of almost all human societies and encounter them, which highlight their charisma and importance. For example, Rome was founded by Romulus and Remus, who were cared for, suckled by a she-wolf. Fenrir, the great Norse wolf, heralded Ragnarok at the end of the world, and the Celtic Morrigan kept wolves. So there's a little bit of history for you. And then the magic of the wolves. So call upon the wolf when you wish to be all you can be in the fullness of your authenticity. While you do not have to be alone, being confident to live your life on your own terms very much embodies the energy of wolves. Wolf energy is also highly protective, and you can call upon it in workings where you may feel fearful or wish for a protective ally. There you go.
Wow. Well, it's interesting because I feel like I can relate to what you said in a way that I've lived my life and I was raised to be a independent woman, and not really depend on a man to provide for me. So I guess in that way, it's not really surprising that I'm single. But the irony is that I don't want to be, and I've always, there's been, I don't know, it's hard because there's part of me that appreciates the independence of being single, but I also have the other part of me that longs to be in a relationship that I never had. And I spoke a little bit about that before. So when you were discussing that with the myth, I was like, oh, this is quite interesting because I can so relate to this. It's like, you have you're married, but you have your separate, separate places where you live, and you're kind of maybe the best of both worlds. I don't know. It seemed to work for the two in the myth. I don't know how that works in real life, but so I could relate to that for sure. In the authenticity, it's interesting because I'm big on that. I'm big on just being who I am. But I can also see where I've spent most of my life trying to fit in. In that trying to fit in, you kind of lose a little bit of that and kind of try to mold yourself into, what you think other people want you to be. So I could relate to that in that way. I'm less so like that now. Just, I guess, basically because I'm older and I don't care. This is who I am,
Own it. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I could relate to that as well. So those two things kind of stuck out for me.
Well, I could see the authenticity piece in the mythos for sure, just because she recognized this isn't going to work for me. Like, I'm not going to fit the mold to be at the ocean where it's noisy and I'm not happy. And so she brings that up, and then they have a conversation and they work with it till they find the thing that works for them. And I've been hearing about this like trend. It's not even that new of a trend, but this like living apart together is like this new trend. And Gwyneth Paltrow's, it's all the rage. And like, I read about that and I'm like, no, like for me, like I couldn't do that. I want to partner and be with someone in the same living space as them. That's, to me, that's the whole point. But I'm not going to judge other people if that's what's going to work for them.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's not up to me. And so if you're being authentic and you're coming from your heart space of like, this is what I need, these are my boundaries, these are my needs, then the right partner will match that, acknowledge that, and honor that. So
yeah, for sure. For sure. I can relate to that. I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, I have the two sides. So I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just that I've never had it. So I have that fear of like not being accepted for who I am and not feeling like I could be completely myself and accepted in that. So I want to pull back, but yeah, I think ideally, if you are with the person, that you're aligned with, that you resonate with, that you're, meant to be with or whatever, then yeah, of course you want to be with them, because, yeah.
why?
It aligns with you and you resonate. So
Right. Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
can, yeah, that's kind of where I'm wanting to go. So I can relate to that as well.
I hear you on all those fronts for sure.
Yeah.
They
You
weren't
get put-
regular people. They were god and goddess, you know. I liked that they lived apart, but they were seeing each other for booty calls. It sounded awesome. I was like, yeah. When they
Right.
most desired each other, or however it said it. Mhm.
Yeah. When they most
Yeah.
desired each other. Yeah.
Let's read between the lines here. That was pretty awesome. I was like, they have it figured out, these two. Just like, look, this is where I need to
Somebody
be. You
annoys you,
stay your
they're over
place,
there.
I'll stay mine.
Well, I can say that I lived next door to my last boyfriend because we each had our own kids, so we didn't want to live together. So we're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, you don't even have to get out of your pajamas. You can just wander up the street. Right? And it was all great until we broke up. And then I was his neighbor and I had to walk by his house every day, and that sucked. So
Yeah.
Good point.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Both that swings, pendulum swings both ways. Eh?
Right. Darn it. Oh.
and that was me that had that card last time, the wolf.
Oh, was it you? Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I started reading the names, the Norse names, and I'm like, I've been down this tricky road before. I recognize the card. Yeah. Oh, it's a good one. Cool. Who is next?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I struggled to get on at first.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here. Glad you made
Thank
it.
you. Finally.
I'm always happy to have a card, Kara. Anytime.
All right. You got a question or intention with it tonight?
Yeah, just I want flow in that growth and development that we were talking about earlier. Let's get some flow in there, you know. I'm like, how do I feel really flowy in my growth? So it's not so jarring. And is that
Yes.
possible?
Please.
Yeah.
A little bit of ease is
So it's not just like
okay. Let me
you're
see.
bumping along, slam into a wall. Oh my God, you know, just more like cruise down the river. Just like, of growth.
I hear you. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That's not about controlling the path, is it, Lori?
What? No.
Want to control? No. Okay, just checking.
Doesn't sound like me at all.
It's a good thing it's not the sacred forest deck, or I'd be pulling that meandering pathway for you.
No, I just mean like in my
No,
own
but there's
head,
definitely
you know, how do I feel like more at ease or like, I don't know. That's just my intention.
Well-
okay. Sticking to it.
yeah. No, I'm just teasing you because there's definitely things we can do to ease our bumpy pathway, like putting
Yeah.
on hiking boots instead of trying to walk that pathway in flip flops. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looked like flip-flops today, and then all of a sudden I was faced with a big tall growth mountain, like, you know, and
Yeah.
oh shoot, I should have put my hiking boots on, you know, like
Happens. I thought you were being literal. Were you being literal just now?
No.
Because you always wear your sandals too cold. So I wasn't sure if you meant you had your sandals on this morning and then it got really cold.
I was like,
Almost.
did I miss something?
we're almost there. I should be in sandals in the next week or so.
Yeah. I'm on your team, man. I hope so. Because I'm a few weeks behind you, but I'm not far behind you.
I know. Yeah. Those feet need fresh air after a long winter, man.
Can't wait. Just sunshine, please.
Right?
Okay, this is a new deck to me, and it's short and sweet, but it was the deck for you tonight. So the herbiary.
Herbiary. Oracle card.
Mhm.
Okay.
Plant
Nice.
wisdom.
Yeah.
I got the bestiary one, which is an animal one too, but I haven't brought it into this call tonight, but you'll see it at some point. So it's the same like gorgeous style artwork. So the plant that came up for you tonight is nettle. And the word going with it is pay attention.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, nettle. If we names of the plants around us, if we do not acknowledge the individualistic curl of a leaf or creep of a rhizome, they all run together and look like a wall of greenery. That's when we humans start to generalize, lumping anything without a showy flower into the category of weed. Nettle will have none of this. Pay attention, she admonishes. We're all different, all unique. When you acknowledge Nettle's individuality and treat her with thoughtful respect, she'll let you close. But forget yourself and you won't forget her sting. Nettle reminds you to see individuality and treat the world around you accordingly. If Nettle is pricking you, pause and pay greater attention. It's actually a super good card for what you were describing. Oh. So when it feels bumpy, maybe there's something you're not paying attention to, noticing.
Right.
The other thing with nettle is that when you get nettle sting, the cure is nettle tea. So there's that thing of, the cure is in the cause.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good sidebar. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That adds a whole other layer of depth to that.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
The nettle, the sting is the thing that I notice, but if I just kind of would slow down and pay attention, then maybe I can walk by the nettle or get close to it without getting stung.
Yeah. Or when it stings, you go, oh, wait, what am I missing here? Something. I'm supposed to be paying attention to something. What is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down with that. Thank you, Kara.
You're welcome. Christy or Janet, would you like a card?
Yeah, sure, I'll take one. And I was resonating with so much of what Laura said, and I'm gonna take a love card, please.
A love card, okay.
Because I'm feeling almost ready to go back into that world.
Yeah. I hear you.
You got to dip in and out of it, that's for sure. Well, that's really interesting because I feel like we're kind of all on the same page about this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, not if you agree, but we're kind of all waiting for that thing that's supposed to be the thing that we want.
Yeah.
We're all worthy and deserving of it, and we all know that.
So worthy, so deserving. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ready.
Done the work.
Yeah. Continually doing the work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Does it end? I don't know.
Doesn't end.
Is there an end? I don't know. You can take
There's
breaks.
no end.
Take a break when you need to, but
Yeah. But there's always work.
Yes.
it's true.
All right, because like we were saying, even not doing anything is work. Giving you the work to give yourself the permission to do that. It's like, I can't even just do nothing with it being work.
Well, I think, Laura, I think I said it to you the other night, like unlearning is more work than learning. Like when we have to undo what we learned, that's way harder than learning something new.
Absolutely.
I
Because
think
you're an autopilot in the stuff that you've been programmed to believe and to do. And yeah, it's so automatic. It's so, ingrained in you. So absolutely, I agree with that. And it's like, being aware and catching those patterns and catching yourself, and your thoughts and your actions and everything. yeah, it is. It is very difficult. You're like, oh no, not this again. You know?
Because it'll keep, you think you've mastered it and fixed it, and then the thing
Yeah,
creeps in, and you're like, oh, I thought I dealt with you.
I swear I just had a conversation with the kids about this. Like something happened a certain way for me growing up. So it's my response to, oh, I was just telling somebody at the dog park about positive and negative reinforcements, and how it's my default to go to a negative reinforcement, or
Yeah.
or you know, if my dog is misbehaving, I tend to say no instead of rewarding her good behavior.
Yeah.
So I was saying, it clicked with me like 3 days ago that I need to start rewarding her good behavior to try and stop this bad behavior that I'm trying to stop, that is working in the moment, but then it keeps happening over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, this isn't working long term. So then it was like, oh, I need to reinforce when she does it right. Duh. And so I was just saying that to somebody tonight, one of the regular guys who I see there, and he was like, yeah, I was like, it's that way. If that's how I was taught, that's how I think it was on me. So that's just my default, is to go to that negative, or maybe it's human nature to go to the negative side. And we have to remember to work from the positive side, because it's way more effective. Way more effective.
I don't think it's human nature so much as it was patterning. Like, I think probably most of us on this call were not only raised but educated in that style of punishment. Do this or this bad thing is going to happen, right? There was positive reinforcement wasn't really a hot topic when we were learning how to life, right?
No.
Good points. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Janet, for you, I pulled from the Rose Oracle. Like, this was the beginning of the call. I pulled from this.
Yeah.
And this is the Great Mother card. So surrender to the mystery and fall into her arms.
Oh, surrender is always such a good one.
Yeah. Don't you love hearing it? Just surrender.
Just surrender. Oh yeah, I'll just surrender.
It's so easy. Just do it. Okay, so it says, the Great Mother ushered you in when you took your first breath, and she'll be there when you draw your last. She knows how challenging life on earth can be. That at times, being human, it can be painful, lonely, and confusing. That the polarity and separation can be difficult when your soul remembers the oneness of Source. Oh, I love that. But at the same time, it can be incredibly glorious and sweet. We often see things as either good or bad. When things go well, we make it mean that everything's okay. And when things don't work out, then perhaps we've done something wrong or have something to fix. We've forgotten that life on earth isn't like that. Polarity is at the core of the earth experience, and it's through the polar extremes that we grow the most. We're not meant to avoid the night, the shadow, and the winter. This life is but a single breath in the inextinguishable existence of your experience as a soul. Hand over your worries, hurt, sorrow, fears, and doubts to the Great Mother. Lay them on her altar. Return to the sureness of the soil. Fall fully into her arms. Surrender to the mystery woven through it all. Remember that while these extremes are difficult, they can also be magnificent. That the unrestrained joy is closer to grief than we think. And perhaps the more wildly the pendulum of your life swings, the more you can say, I have truly lived.
Okay, that's like my favorite card ever.
That's a
That was lovely.
The
The
rose,
wild pendulum, though, like my life, that's like, oh no. But it always swings in a good place. So cool. I like that. But yeah, just to remember that I'm not alone in it, that I'm fully supported in whatever's happening.
yeah.
And those cards are, because I didn't have a close relationship with my mother at all. It's like really been working on that to be able to feel what does a child feel for the mother that they love, right? Because I never really felt it. So that description of coming in and being held so you can surrender, that's lovely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful. the transmission or the affirmation at the end. I don't know. It just says, I'm ready to embrace the extremes of my life. I lay all that I'm carrying onto the altar and fall into the great mother's arms. Hmm.
Like, holy, I can't even say how much I love that card. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That card is amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, what a beautiful card.
This deck is like that, I find. It's really moving.
The rose
So-
one?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's awesome. Chrissy, you want one?
Sure. Can I have a rose one?
Yeah, totally, you can.
Just like I like moving type things. And it was really pretty cover too, and that was a cool card.
They're pretty spectacular. It's not like it's a very feminine deck, which there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of my decks are really, I don't know how to describe them. The artwork is like bold and like makes a statement kind of, and this is just very flowy and like, yeah, lots of mother energy and spirit energy. It's awesome.
Feely
Chris-
energy.
What's that?
Feely energy.
Feely energy, yeah. Touchy feely. Heart tingles. Gives your heart tingles.
Divine mother energy for sure, hey?
Yeah.
Or divine feminine energy, I guess I should say.
Yeah, feminine energy, that's right. Because there was one, I pulled one from mom the other day that was like the grandmother. It was like grandmother love or something. I can't remember what it was.
Well,
It
like
was
even divine feminine has her masculine side, right?
oh, of course.
She's so, I mean, but there's a certain essence to divine feminine that is undeniable.
That's correct. Christy, do you have an intention or a question to go with it?
Actually, this time I don't. Maybe just something
Okay.
general.
Sure.
Yeah.
The grandmothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is so funny in my head. I was like, that'd be funny if we got that one. That's so cool.
Oh, yeah. It's such an amazing card, too. You got to see these.
Oh, pretty. Beautiful.
Yeah. Lovely. So it says the grandmothers, remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. Okay, so the rose was here long before you and me and long before humanity itself. She holds within her the rememberings of civilizations past, roots that reach back for millions of years and hold the codes of creation. They carry with them the songs of the ancient grandmothers of the earth. Can you hear their song? When this card appears in a spread, it's an invitation to reach all the way back to go forward, to reach your roots deep, to soar high. The ancient grandmothers are calling for you to remember the wisdom of your ancestry, long before colonialism severed so much that is sacred, before the rise and fall of empires and entire civilizations, all the way back to the origins of humanity. They're calling you to play your part in this time of healing, to heal and integrate what you've inherited in your ancestral line. It's not personal. These are changing, healing times that we came here for, to reconnect and reach all the way back to the original mother and to see our role as the ancestors of those who are yet to come, to remain grounded and rooted in your life so that no matter how rocky things get, you always know that you are home. And the transmission says, I reach my roots all the way back to go forward. I call upon the sacred strength and support of my ancestors who did not forget to be with me now. I acknowledge the difficulties and what's coming up to be healed, and I do so for all who are yet to come.
So cool. So awesome.
Beautiful.
I feel like Christy gets that message a lot.
The ancestors one.
I
Yes.
was
I was
that
thinking,
she's got powerful ancestry, or like the whatever, but she does get the ancestry one, and that she's being called by them to the here and now, to remember her lineage and her support from her ancestral line. I swear that's come up for
yeah,
Christy like 7
I
times.
feel like that kind of too. Like this is starting to be a theme.
Well, the universe, will you do something with it? So I don't know.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. See, and the thing too about these calls is like, I don't know if you've noticed sitting in this call, like we've outright talked about things that are themes for us as the 5 on this call. But I read a card for Laura and Christy probably got something out of that. Or I read Janet's card and Lori probably got something out of that. Like the message isn't just for you in the card that's pulled for you, because we're here as a collective group right now sharing this space in this container, right? So awesome.
Totally. The message is coming to all of us.
We cannot deny
And there
our
are
magic.
no, or our ancestry. I think there's so many people being called to remember right now. Like, I don't know, Janet, I'm not sure how you heard about me, but a lot of people end up on these calls because of this Reiki vortex that we're on. Was it through the healing vortex that no? Okay.
I honestly have no idea. I must have just come across it on Facebook somehow, or maybe sometimes you advertise on that, like spiritual events in BC, or you know, it was probably on that one.
Okay. I've had a few people come through that group to the call too, so that's cool. Well, this person that I met in the summer that Laura also knows, and now Christy and Lori know of it because of me, but Sean, he's here in Kelowna and he has New Earth Healing Center. And he had a vision back last year about creating a space online for like Reiki group healing. So a bunch of practitioners come on and they do group healing Reiki. We usually for 35 or 40 minutes. You can come on, pay $15 to receive Reiki from a bunch of different practitioners. Lots of them are clairvoyant and will have insights beyond just flowing the Reiki to you. It's a really amazing community and support. But as I was saying on this last Sunday on the Vortex, like anyone who knows Sean knows that his mission is all about helping people remember who they are, why they're here, and what their gifts are. Like that is his mission. And the more I look around, the more I'm seeing people, like even the people that are like not ready to take the step into it, but they're like, you can see them waking up and questioning things like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my time? And there's a real kind of movement going on around people coming back to this place of remembering. And it's so amazing to witness.
Nice. Yeah, the phrase my Incan teacher uses is, I remember who I am, I remember where I came from, and I remember why I'm here. And I've been saying that for like about a year now, and so much stuff has been coming in. It's been cool. Yeah.
Beautiful. I got goosebumps when you said that, those statements. Love it. This was a really awesome call tonight. I really enjoyed the conversation. I mean, I always do, but it's always neat to see what comes up and what's going on.
And even just that we were all in one place tonight kind of seemed nice, right?
Yeah. Nothing's a coincidence.
Where she goes off.
Well, thank you all for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. We'll do it again next week. Oh, and we will do it again next week, but I realized I March 8th is International Women's Day and I bought a ticket for an event that evening. So I'm going to have to I'll maybe just do it a different day of the week that week. So that's the 8th. Maybe does a Thursday work for you guys usually?
Yeah.
I know not everyone can come every week and that's fine too, but maybe I'll do it on that Thursday that week. You can just plan that ahead in your mind. Cool.
Thank you. Good night.
Hey,
Good night, guys.
hey, Kara.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Kara,
Yes.
are you still there? Oh, you are still there.
Yes. I need to, let me just.
Yeah. Do the thing.
Okay, hold on. Oops. Oh my goodness. I'm so technologically challenged sometimes.